All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this session. Welcome to the PHP Backend deep dive session. The topic for today is how AI is transforming backend development. Okay. My name is Emeka Friday, the host for this session, and our speaker is Mr. Adeyinka. Let's welcome Mr. Adeyinka. Welcome to this session. Please, you can go ahead with your presentation. Thank you, sir. Hello, sir. Did you hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Should be network issues problems and
Okay. So let's wait for Mr. Denka to connect and then start speaking for this session. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, hello. Sorry, I'm back now.
Okay, sir. You can start presenting now. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, can anyone hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. I'm trying to sort this. Hello. I'll share my screen shortly. Okay. Please, can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Now to start with, my name is Adeyinka Hassan Aliwale. I'm the team lead for the basics of technology here at Lincoln Dev Center, a team that oversees a number of cross-functional teams of PHP backend team, Python data science team, infrastructure DevOps team, mobile app front-end team, and product UI/UX team. It is a pleasure to be here with you guys sharing this space this afternoon to do a deep dive of how AI is transforming backend development with a focus on PHP engineering perspective. On this introduction, I would like to state that I started off as well as a PHP backend developer, and over the years, as need arises, having to contribute on a number of projects, and as well having to work on myself to grow my career. I needed to learn a number of the technologies as well, but I still remain very solid with PHP backend engineering. So I have to say this so that you can understand the context of where I'm coming from, and probably for people that may like know me recently, You may not have seen me even as a PHP developer. You may see me as as an engineering manager or somebody at that level. So, but I can tell you for free that I still do a lot of PHP backend development as well. The landscape is shifting, and we need to talk about what is in it for PHP backend developers. Even though it might be the same for anyone in the software space or industry, that you need to up your game in this current era, not just as a PHP developer. Because over time is a conversation I've seen the most further online, where people say is letting PHP still worth it in 2025. You will still see is it worth it to learn PHP in 2026. And as somebody in the field, and I can tell you for free that it is still worth learning PHP in 2026, in 2027. You know what the interesting things are happening. And like I used to tell my team members, probably junior colleagues, that it's not just about your technical expertise. It's about the kind of solution you are able to come about, how creative you are in your thinking, and the number of impact you are able to make, how you are able to work well with people, how you are able to make things happen. You can start off as a PHP developer and find yourself in a number of other roles.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry to interrupt. I want to confirm if everyone is hearing Mr. Adenka very well. Please, if you can hear him, just drop a thumbs up if you can hear him. Is he clear?
All right. You can just unmute and speak as well if you can hear me, so that
Okay.
this session can be interactive. I've not heard anyone. You can type on the chat as well.
Yeah, you can type on the chat if you can't hear him very well, please. Okay, you can go on, sir.
All right, thank you very much. So as I was saying, I said you can start off as a PHP developer, and you grow your career into a number of other capacity. And the beauty, like I used to say, on learning PHP, as you know that PHP is a hypertext preprocessor, and there is no way you will learn PHP that you may not want to consider yourself even as a full stack web developer, because even with the MVC framework, where you may need to deal with the model view and controller, you definitely need to work with a controller. And even now that you are able to do Vue.js and React.js as front end for PHP backend, it opens a number of opportunities as well. And you may not only regard yourself as a PHP backend developer, you can even say, I am a full stack developer just learning PHP, because you will definitely interact with the front end as well. But in some cases, you may not need to do that, especially when you are working in to create APIs and all. Maybe in a team that is well structured and you are only focused on creating APIs, the backend logic and all. So you may not have to do that, but as a beginner, ordinarily you will have passed through those phases. And when you start growing your career, a number of other fields, you can go into solution architecture. You can even become a founder as a PHP backend developer. And hence the reason why this deep dive is necessary, to enlighten us, to give us the necessary exposure. Maybe you are not looking at that direction. This will point you into the direction, and we want to raise that inclusive mindset in you to say, what can I make of this current stack I am into? if you as an audience here, you may not also be a PHP backend developer. You may be a C sharp, you may be a .NET, somebody .NET, you may be even JavaScript ecosystem, Node.js, probably Python as well. But the thing is that when you are in the software industry and you are somebody who, as a Italian call it, inquisitive, you may want to learn more than a single language. It may not be necessary, but it becomes easier if you are proficient in one programming language, and you may be able to shift to or adapt to other programming. And it becomes very beautiful nowadays that with integration of AI into workflow, you have a program, a software written in PHP, you can easily convert it to any other language, and you can just leverage on your current expertise in PHP to achieve some other things in other languages. Take for example, you want to a code was built or a software was built with PHP, and you may want to work on a Python, for example, microservice. You may be able to do that with AI integration. And a lot of people, for someone like me, I have a number of startups. I consider myself uh, as a founder from day one, because the reason why I came into tech is that I believe I can create something, and I keep doing stuff like that over the years. And I don't, in most cases, even as my side project, most of them will grow up to become a solution. Even some of them, maybe no one is using them. I still keep up maintaining some of them. And some of them are growing over the years. And I can tell you for free that as far back as this is my 9th year going to the 10 years. As far back as my first year, I created a software that people are still using till today, and I still maintain, I still deploy. I sell the same software over and over again, and that's another beauty. Once you're able to come up with a solution that works for someone, you may need to extend it to work for other people, and sometimes you may need to do a bit of modification, and sometimes it will fit into other people's needs. So that's a bit of introduction to this session, and let me move to the next slide. So why backend development is changing? Why do we need to integrate AI into our workflow as PHP backend developer, or let's say a backend developer, or anyone in the software industry? The reason being that take for example, you create a software today, your business go demand keep increasing over time. You may need to deliver a feature overnight, and there's tendency of complexity as well. All of this challenge are things that the AI integration into the workflow is helping us solve today. There's the need for reliability, security, and performance. You may not need to worry about this if you have a security extension to take, for example, your VS Code. You may be able to identify vulnerabilities in your code while you focus on the business logic. And also growing integration of microservices and cloud native system. As the microservice architecture is in its state, is that it allows you to develop features or units independent of the other. So even though the core backend of a solution was written in another language, you can contribute as well as a paid backend person to say, okay, this microservice is being handled with PHP, and that's how the system flows independently. So you can scale each unit independently and even add new features without necessarily affecting other system or working system. So the rise of events driven and AI architecture, and also a lot of automation as well is taking place, where you may not want to wrap your head around how each of the components are built together. You want to just make them work together, and AI will be able to just help you out in these kind of scenarios. Then we've said something about why. Then let's go a bit deeper now to say where exactly does AI fit into backend engineering? Remember I said in during my introduction to say that this section is just focusing on PHP. You as a Python backend developer may also benefit from this or any other tech stack because uh, it may not matter to our users what kind of technology is used behind the scene. You can have the same software written in one language and the other language. It doesn't matter to them as long as you are able to provide solutions to business needs. So we use AI for code generation and boilerplate automation. These days, you may not have to write or worry about the boilerplate. Once you tell your code agent, for example, to say, I want to create a PHP, so maybe you want to use a particular framework, it's already able to create the boilerplate that you may need for the project. And API design and documentation. In this regard, you may not focus on creating your API documentation as you have done that manually, or people have been doing that manually over the years, having to write documentation for the different API endpoints or the technical documentation. AI nowadays is able to understand your code and able to generate the necessary documents that may be necessary for your API. Instead of you trying to do all of those manually, it's able to read, understand your code, and help you generate API documentation that will be useful for example, for front-end developer or other purposes as well, or people that may want to integrate your solution or API into their own core services. Also, database modeling and query optimization. AI nowadays is able to detect places where your query is not well optimized and suggest a better way of writing your query. So also in CI/CD pipeline and DevOps automation, you can tell your AI that I have written the code in Laravel and I want to deploy on GitLab or GitHub. Is able to write the necessary configuration file for you. It's just for you to plug in. And as well, if it's a code, if you have a code extension, AI code extension, you can also write this for you without you having to tell any other probably AI to do this for you. So these are things we now enjoy nowadays in terms of integrating AI for backend engineering. So testing and debugging, you're able to write test cases. AI is able to understand your code, right? And is able to generate API documentation and all. It understands what your functions are doing and is able to write unit tests and integration tests for your code. So you may not need to worry about having to write test cases for the functions. Then for log analysis and incident response. So a lot of us, when we see log on servers, we may not have so much time to go through, or it may be a tedious work to start reading the log. But if you have an AI in your workflow that's able to read the log, you'll be able to spot issues in your PHP solution or any programming language and be able to report that accordingly. Also, performance tuning and scalability forecasting. You may before you may need to wait for somebody to come and review your code for you to be able to understand that probably this is not performant, especially when you're just starting. Or sometimes you may have some technical debt in your code, but nowadays when you can have AI as part of your code editor extension, you may be able to spot those issues and say suggest ways to fix that, or even generate snippets for you to fix those in your code base. So to be specific on PHP now, we want to say how AI as it is related or adapted, or how PHP is adapting to AI as the business need is it keeps increasing and complexity keeps growing nowadays. So AI is enhancing the PHP ecosystem through smarter ID assistant. Like I mentioned earlier, you can have your VS Code and Copilot integration, and out of the box you are able to get assistant. Before we used to have intelligence as an it's still able beyond just intelligence. It's able to generate code snippets. You can chat with your AI assistant and or code agent, and it's able to generate a viable code for you. So you can generate controllers, model, and methodology. There are artisan commands to do this, but beyond that, now you are able to use AI agents. Once you get your prompt right, is able to create the appropriate model with the right properties and models, and also for controllers, I was able to use the artisan command. You still have to do modifications, but with AI integration into your workflow, once you have all of those keywords present in your prompts, you are able to create your model, your controller, and flow out of the box, and you can even ask it to follow the existing templates you have, and you don't have to waste time trying to do that or trying to figure that out. So also for migrations as well, so it used to be a lot of efforts trying to write migration. Maybe you want to update migration, you already create a migration, you want to create another migration for to update the previous migration. Maybe you want to change a column, or you want to drop a column, you want to alter a particular column, or even a table. You want to create a table, and those queries we used to run. Nowadays, when you have AI, you can use AI to help you out with doing, and you are just good to go. Things you will spend hours doing, AI will be able to do it there for you under a minute. So as well, AI-based API scaffolding, a number of scaffolding for example, you want to generate, you want to interact with OpenAI or any other LLM, you already have those scaffolding that you can also leverage on, so that you don't have to start wrapping your head around that to start generating code to deal with them. Then for automated documentation from code annotators, so take for example, even you may not be the one that worked on the project in the first place, and you want to understand how the code was structured. You can leverage on AI to help you understand what it is about the code base. Then in terms of predictive optimization for database query as well, like I mentioned earlier, you can already do this. It helps you spot issues even before they arise. So AI is really making us more productive as PHP backend developer with all of these integrations. AI accelerates development by generating Laravel controller services DTU. I'm more focused on Laravel here. A number of other frameworks like E as well. For example, we use E for some of our solutions here at Lincoln, and a number of them as well. We have that you can based on MVC framework, where you need to interact with controller services and a number of other terms in terms of what you may need to work with. Also, form validation, you may not need to worry about that. Once you know the field you need at the front end, your AI is able to help you write or leverage or import the necessary middleware to handle all of this. also API resources and transformers. So you are able to integrate with API with just passing your documentation, and out of the box, AI is able to generate the post-labor hierarchy to integrate with those third-party resources. And lastly, unit test. You may not need to worry about all of this. Tasks that used to take 1 to 2 hours now takes 5 minutes. In fact, tasks that takes a week or more, if you are good with your prompts, may be generated in less than 5 minutes. So that's the extent to which AI is making us more productive, reducing our workload. And it's just to make the best use of AI in your workflow, and you become a super developer or super engineer. At this stage, I would like to get opinion to carry my audience along. Um, is there anything that you may need to ask question about, or you may start thinking, having to scratch your head to remember what you need to ask about? So you can start jotting your questions down, and you can even stop me to ask questions. So that is also welcome. I believe you can still see my screen, right?
Yes, you can see your screen.
Okay. All right. So AI generated architecture blueprints. So this part of the presentation uh, is about how AI is able to make you as a beginner or an intermediate level developer to do things that are normally or ordinarily supposed to be the responsibility of a senior level engineer, because as it used to be is that, like I used to say, that years of experience that you used to ask for in job application is not just for formality's sake. We tend to believe that if you have this specific number of years of experience, you may be able to do this, you may be able to do that, and that is actually true. As a beginner or start or somebody at intermediate, you may not be able to come up with a viable system diagram for any solution you are coming up with. But with integration of AI into your workflow or your daily workflow process, you may be able to generate system design diagrams that are viable for whatever project you intend to work on. Even just as yesterday, I was trying to come up with a simple solution. I just wanted to create a Telegram chatbot, and I took it over myself to say, okay, let me do this in 30 minutes. And I don't have to worry about how my syntaxes are. I prompted AI to generate everything I need to do, and I started working. But the beauty of it is that I also have system diagram to that AI generated content, and I'm able to visualize it. And even if that project is supposed to be for a client, I have something to show them as a visual demonstration for what I'm trying to do. So also modules breakdown. Uh, when you, for example, if you are new on a project, you may want to understand what each module stands for and how the code base is structured. So AI is able to help you understand how the different components interconnected, and you don't have to spend days to break down what the module does. Also, microservice boundaries. So you may be able to set boundaries to say this microservice handle this, handle that, and you with AI architecture blueprints may help you to decide on what a microservice will actually do and what it may not do, and what others do and what they may not do as well. Event-driven workflow and database schema and relationship. So you may not have to worry so much about database schema relationships as before that. You may want to do hand-drawn schemas or use other tools to do this. AI today is able to help you to define the relationship between relational database tables, and you get to put yourself at the level of experts at this use case when you use AI to generate video schemas. As long as you are good with something that's going to come at the later stage of this presentation, and how do we get started with integrating AI into PHP backend activity. So let's take another look at how AI is helping with database optimization. Unlike before, where you have to start scratching your head, trying to troubleshoot why your query is not you have you are able you have slow queries. Nowadays with AI, you can detect uh, problem with your query, and you also get suggestion on how to go about that, and you can choose which approach works best for your solution. So, and on this regards as well, it's not just about the new solutions we are trying to work with, because you are able to work with, you are able to pass your repository to an AI tool that may be able to help you to optimize even your legacy code. So you don't have to start running around or getting worried when your solution becomes slow. These days, you can just pass it through an AI tool and help you figure out where you may need to optimize or normalize or de-normalize your queries or your table. So also with just like I said earlier, using AI to generate migrations and also SQL to PHP with your migrations as well, you may be able to, or vice versa, you may be able to generate model eloquence controllers and all with just one part. You may be able to complete the other part. Just with migrations, AI may be able to assist you to generate model, controller, and view, and also some other things you may need to generate. So even though you may even have a model to AI, you may be able to generate migrations and just run the commands for you to run to achieve whatever you want to achieve. And now that you then have extensions, AI extensions in your code editor, you may also be able to implement those, like I said, just recommend for you and just say, accept those recommendations and you are good to go. AI in testing and quality assurance. Like I mentioned earlier, AI has helped reduce a lot of workload. Today, you may not have to worry about writing test cases manually. Once AI has access to your different functions, may be able to write unit tests for your code, and as well integration testing for whatever feature you are trying to achieve. Also, may be able to suggest edge cases that you may not have ordinarily thought of if you are to write all of those unit testing. Able to simulate high traffic scenarios and perform automated integration testing. So this helps a lot to reduce workload, and it's still helping and will still grow over time as a lot of research is going on a lot of products coming out every day on integrating AI into um, our workflow. Um, AI in DevOps and CI/CD. This has helped to improve the best practices in the DevOps team. For example, when you have your environment secrets in your code, or you have not catered for managing your solutions across different environments, AI may help you in terms of even generating the variables you may need for deployment of your code base, and also setting configurations for deployment with your version control tools. And so you may not have to worry about all of this. And as well, recommend infrastructure scaling due to probably complexity of your code base. So, and also help you cater for intelligent rollback triggers. So with AI, like I said earlier, you can just say I've created a payment solution with Laravel and OE or any other expression engine or any other of them, or any other PHP framework, and is ordinarily able to help you generate the deployment configurations. You may not have to worry about writing your Docker file or Docker compose that makes every component work together. You'll be able to suggest the best approach to scale your solution over time. This is the extent to which AI is assisting in DevOps. So today you may not have to wait for a DevOps engineer to be able to deploy your code on cloud or any other environment that you may want to deploy on. So if you leverage on AI, it becomes easier, and for, like I mentioned, for startup founders or founders as well. Sometimes you, as a startup founder, you may find yourself as the front end engineer, in fact, the full stack engineer, and as well you want to do DevOps Pro. So it helps you to be able to save costs and enables you to be able to deploy your solution and not just allowing them to stay on your local environment. So things becomes easier now. Even on the solution I mentioned that I deployed yesterday, and I deployed on Cloudflare, and still all of those commands I need to run and every dependencies I need to install to be able to deploy the solution. So were generated by AI, and in less than 30 minutes, I was able to deploy the solution. Even to the extent when I want to say, I want to log some of the conversations or some data. So it helped me to add SQLite to Cloudflare yesterday. I didn't even know I could use Cloudflare SQLite to in my but AI was able to suggest that, recommend that for me instead of trying to have a separate hosted DB. He recommended, and I was able to do that in time and at lesser cost, or in some cases no cost at all. So that because the response it gives you is so good that it's just for you to implement and get the stuff out there. So AI in observability and incident responses. Like I said earlier, sometimes you may need to read log on server and with AI integration in your workflow, you may be able to raise alert or alarm for potential issues in your code. And this is another kind of opportunity I think my audience can leverage as well. You may create a solution around reading error log and reporting that to um, on PHP code base. So I'm hoping to see that, and even myself is something I would want to explore to say I want to create a plugin that may be able to read error log and suggest uh, improvements or suggest fixes to those errors that may arise as the solution runs in real time. I think it's going to be a good one, not just monitoring the server uptime or downtime. You may be able to spot potential issues with while your code runs in production with such kind of plugin that is able to read error log and is also able to report that in real time. AI in security for PHP backend. Even though this deep dive is focused on PHP, any other person in other stack can leverage on this AI for security. You can pass your code base to AI to scan for vulnerability, and believe you'll be amazed with the recommendations and that you will just need to implement things you will not think of. Edge cases, vulnerabilities in your code base that bad actors can easily exploit. Then it's helps you adding the security. And the beauty is that it's not just telling you that the problem exists, it's recommending solutions to those problems at the same time. And issues with configurations as well. All of these are being catered for when you have AI integrated in your program. You are able to make the best use of AI as well. So, and with your Docker Compose as well, you'll be able to spot vulnerabilities or conflicting dependency that may affect your the normal functioning of your code base. So not just spotting those issues, recommending ways to solve them, and you are more secured integrating AI into your workflow as a PHP backend developer. Let's look into some of the examples of use cases for PHP engineering team. Even though you may not, you may say, I'm still good with what I have, but here are some of the use cases that may help you boost productivity. Like I said, it's not just about technical expertise, it's about creative thinking, it's about being early to market as well, and that's what is driving technology today. Because you may be even seconds ahead of your competitors. You don't want to be a second late. So So when even from sprint planning, you may leverage AI to improve the productivity of your team when you generate, for example, AI assistant prototypes, auto documentation of large legacy code base. In some cases, you may need to work with dictated PHP version, and you may need to upgrade. So unlike before that, you may have to start reading on what changes you have when version changes. From version 5 to version 8, that's a major change. And you may want to upgrade to version 7, but before you get to version 8, because there's going to be a lot of breaking changes here. So, but with AI, you are able to migrate or upgrade your code dependency, and you are sure that this approach will work. It's not just that you are trying doing a try and look and try approach. AI will suggest what will work because it already has access to to understand what the code base does with the previous version. Is able to help you upgrade your functions or classes accordingly. So AI assisted refactoring of Laravel monolith. You don't know what a monolith is. For example, MVC approach is mostly monolith, but if you use Laravel APIs in some cases, and you will be able to use other type of framework or other front-end technology, but mostly Laravel projects are monoliths because you have the model control and you in a single code base, and you may want to refactor them, maybe due to increasing business needs or new features to be added to your solution. The AI is able to do this out of the box for you once you have a very good prompt that works. Also, improved API testing coverage. You may want to leverage on AI to be able to improve the test coverage to handle edge cases. And as well, it helps to reduce onboarding time for new hires, where your new hires may even have to chat with your code base to understand the different features and functionality. They may not even have to read the entire documentation. There are some questions they need to ask your the AI that has access to your code base, and you'll be able to give them viable answer, and you can get started with whatever implementation they want to do. Now let's look at how AI is able to improve team productivity. Uh, as opposed to what you used to have, that you may want to uh, okay, basically AI helps developers to focus more on logic and less boilerplate. AI is able to help you generate the boilerplate, and on top of that as well, even the logic you are focused on, they help you fine tune them and make you more productive. So that's, if you have to look at what power that is, that's maybe sometimes AI can make you more productive in terms of generating boilerplate 10 times. Also helping you with the logic to help it help you fine tune it to be more viable, and you can have times 100 efficiency in that regard. So that's to the extent where AI is helping you to reduce the manual processes and helping you to focus more on business logic to meet business needs. It also helps to reduce code review cycle. You can ask AI to review code for you as well, though this is not taking away human review, which is in most cases necessary because you know AI still hallucinates. So, but to some extent, you are able to rely on AI to review some of the changes made in your code, and you don't have to worry, especially um, when you can allow your developers to work fully on them and AI review their code base for them instead of having to come and meet a senior person on the team. AI may be able to review and pass a recommendation for them to make improvements to their development code base. You're able to do faster prototype, faster business validation. You're able to test your idea. You can estimate better now and accurately. Just like I said, I can want to do this thing in 30 minutes. It's not the time to worry about doing documentation or trying to figure out how to implement the feature. AI is able to do that for me. Then in terms of styling as well, AI helps to maintain consistency. In a code base that is not even consistent, AI can help you to make necessary adjustments to the standards so you can have a consistent coding style. Improve knowledge sharing inside team. Yes, this is very important. Uh, Probably you are working in a team and somebody has responsibility to deliver a particular feature and you have a different responsibility, and at the end of the day all of those features will need to come together to form a whole, and you don't have to have your edge around how the other person has done the implementation. AI is able to summarize that for you and tell you what you need to do to be able to integrate to other people's work. So the number of new roles coming up for backend engineer. Uh, Now we have shift from code typist to system designer. Instead of having to type code, AI will be able to help you generate and focus on system design, bug fighter to quality enforcer, minor tester to automation architect. So AI help you handle the team work, then human handle creative architect and judgment. There's nothing that doesn't have its own risk or limitation. It's about how you are able to work around those limitations. That you then become um, master at what you do, and you become more secured. So AI is evolving, helping us to improve our workflow flow processes. But notwithstanding, uh, there are still some risks that come with it. And now and then you see people say, see you can you see people with post snippet or content that are not supposed to get into production, and you see them in production because teams may become over reliance on AI and proper code review is not done. Also, the risk of code hallucination. AI may work out of context, and if proper code review is not done, you may push bug into your production code base, and uh, all of this has to do with is either you make profit or loss. If you are not able to serve your business need, yeah, there's high probability that the business will run at loss. Then security vulnerability, uh, for example, security API keys may get exposed if not properly handled due to AI integration, and you need to be careful with your keys and ensure that uh, things are done according to the best practice, even though it's AI. Like I used to say that if you are trying to use AI to improve your productivity and you want to take the glory for the work done, you should be ready to also take the blame for failures of that tool you are using. So you need to be careful in this regard. In the data privacy concern, there are some you need to be concerned about what kind of data is being exposed, and because it's just sometimes it's just AI just for your implementation they just expose user data such as email address, some of the data as well. So you need to be able to you need to be concerned about data privacy as well, so that you don't expose organization secret or your users data. And compliance issue as well. you want to check that what you are doing is lawful or conform with the regulation of the industry. You can't just do anything you feel like doing. You want to know if, for example, integrating a particular AI or tool, or probably in case of web scraping as well, you may want to know that this is compliant with, does the third party allow you to do this? You may want to look into that. And all in all, AI boosts productivity but cannot replace engineers' judgment. So we need to be careful in this regard, not to be over reliant on AI, and still maintain the best practices. Even though AI help boost productivity, we shouldn't forget about all of these best practices to allow human intervention to be able uh, uh, to prevent such risk. So you may use AI to generate your code snippets, use AI to optimize your database, to generate content, and a number of other things. But most people you still need the human input, especially when you are pushing to production, so that you avoid all of this risk. Then how do you prepare your team for AI adoption? Uh, Even if you are the only person working on the project on a particular solution, you may need to prepare yourself um, for AI adoption. And they say practice make perfection, but you have to start from somewhere. So need to have the mindset that AI is a tool, just like any other tool, and you want to improve your productivity, integrating AI into your workflow. Then maintain code review discipline, just like I said before. You can still allow AI to do code review on dev and without manual or a senior person will review in the dev or staging environment. But when you are migrating your code to the production environment, you need to be careful in this regard, so that you are not responsible for breaking existing code or violating a policy. Uh, Document AI output properly. Even though you have used AI to generate a documentation, you should document properly. Some things I see when people generate documentation, you still see star and some other symbols that are not supposed to be there. Even though you have used AI, you should format your code, your output properly to be taking ownership of what is being done. And train developers on prompt engineering. This is very important. You are as good, or your output, your AI output is as good as prompt, the quality of your prompts. So in most cases, you can even do it because less than 30 minutes and you are good to go for prompt engineering. But this as well needs consistency. You need to practice different approach to prompting, and you are generally when you are generally good at this, your productivity tends to grow over time. Then build internal guidelines for safe AI use. You need to set rules for what is allowed and what is not allowed, so that um, you don't, as a way of using AI to improve productivity, you don't affect other parts of your solution as well. So know what kind of model you can set standards to say these are the models that are allowed to be used in the team so that you prevent AI hallucination. There are some, to some extent, you know which one is better from different model and which one works best for your own use case. Then you can set guidelines for AI adoption as well. Then talking about the future of AI and PHP backend, I can still say that you are still in the early days, and there's a lot of opportunities there. And though it will create opportunity for new entrants, but beyond that, you need to know, for people that already knows the fundamental, who are the intermediate level and who are senior level, it's not going to be a massive one when people at those level or senior level are able to integrate AI into their work, because it boosts your existing potential so that you can able to do more with AI in your workflow. So when we look at, for example, fully autonomous text generation, you can generate text across every feature or every feature in your code base. AI will be able to help you do this. Integrate both implement and integration testing. Then we look out for AI first framework for PHP, hybrid LLM plus PHP application, AI-driven deployment and systems. So a number of interesting things are coming up in this regard. Self-optimizing APIs and AI-generated microservices. As you can see on my screen, this is a roadmap to becoming a modern backend developer. And in all of this, AI is already playing its own role in terms of improving people's efficiency and productivity. Um, you may be somebody in the JavaScript ecosystem, Go, Python, Ruby, Java, C Sharp, PHP, Rust. All in all, we are backend engineers, and you may be able to leverage AI. You may just need to learn a bit of front-end basis, and AI. You can just leverage on AI to be able to deliver a solution at expert level, and also version in terms of version control as well. AI is able to help you resolve conflicts in your code base. A lot of people struggle with working in a team, especially when it's their first time. With JIT, it's something I've seen over time. Most cases, when I had to join project and we are getting to onboard developers, I see myself trying to even train people on how to do how to maintain or how to manage the version system. So a lot of people run into code conflicts when working with JIT, and AI is able to help you today to resolve most of those issues, and your productivity improves along the line. Then also in terms of database, even now that there's ORM and you are able to use migration, it becomes easier. You can easily switch databases, and the integrations you can leverage on AI to easily switch or seamlessly switch between different databases. So that's the extent to which AI can assist you in developing according to this roadmap. So there's no single way to do it, but you see front-end basics to the extent that it can assist you with React front-end or Vue.js front-end integration. Also deployment and network DNS management, and a number of other things to determine what posts may fit in for this or what kind of infrastructure may fit in. Talking about scaling your solution as well, AI is able to assist you in all of these different integrated components. Here at the Competence Center, there's a career trajectory for from beginners to advanced level for the career growth of the different team members. When you join the team, you can regard yourself as backend developer. That's when you need to learn and work with the PHP syntaxes, trying to learn one or more framework, working with WordPress and a number of other Joomla and a number of others. So it becomes easier nowadays that you're able to make create a plugin in all of these or library in all of these different PHP based solution or content management systems. You are able to deliver solution faster. Then over time, you may go to becoming a mid-level developer, senior backend engineer, staff engineer, principal engineer on software architecture, and you become distinguished in what you do. There's a trajectory for a team member, technically inclined team member. But it is very important as well to note that as you grow your career technically, you grow as well. Sorry, can anyone still hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah, I got disconnected. All right, thank you. So it's very important to note that when you start growing your career, improving technically, um, naturally you become better in terms of management as well because you learn how to work with people, you develop your soft skills as well. Because in most cases, uh, even if you are the best engineer and you are not collaborative, you are not somebody that people find it easy to work with, it becomes an issue in that regard. So you may not have a so fulfilling career. So it's okay to grow technically, but also you need to be concerned about your non-technical skills. And these skills are what is necessary to help you become a team lead, engineering manager, somebody who is able to communicate their thoughts, able to help others when they have issues, and going to become director of engineering, vice president of engineering, and CTO. Um, a lot of interesting things for somebody in the PHP backend track. There's no limit to what you can achieve. You can go to become a solution architect, that application architect, even DevOps engineer with AI integration. It's not something that is not achievable. Then you can easily fund your own organization now. You may not need to spend money for some of the things today. It's just that maybe you have that willingness to do, willingness to learn, and you may just have to leverage on AI to complement your existing skill, and you become better at what you do, learn or become more proficient in other stacks, and overall you're able to save costs and achieve things faster. Then, in conclusion, AI is not replacing backend engineer; it is enhancing them, especially in the PHP ecosystem. Teams that embrace AI now can deliver faster, scale better, and build more reliable systems. Thank you very much for the audience, and I'm open to answering your questions now.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. I myself, I learned a lot, and I trust that every other person in attendance has learned a lot too. So I have some questions I noted down for you, sir, but I will just take one. I will ask you one question, then I will allow others to ask you to. My
All right.
question is, okay, sir. My question is, what would you regard as the top of a, a backend developer career path? And what are some key stages before getting to the highest point in the career of a backend developer?
Okay, so please permit me to go back to one of the previous slides, right? So the peak uh, depends on your career focus, like I said. But you can, if you are somebody who is more comfortable with just the technical aspect of software, you may grow up to become a solution architect or with a touch of management managerial skills, you can grow up to become a CTO. Mind you, when at the beginning of this session, I said once you are a PHP developer, you are naturally a full stack developer because you will definitely need to learn things about a bit of front end. Then with AI integrations now and leveraging on AI, you become a super engineer where you are able to do things that ordinarily you may not be able to do at the PhD backend basic. You can as well become a solution architect uh, or DevOps engineer, depending on your career focus. So there's no limit, and also you can become a startup founder as well. You can have your own startup. So a number of it's not that you have to scale the ladder step by step, right? It depends on the structure of the organization you find yourself or the kind of solution you're working with, and you may be able to scale from even just a backend developer to say, I mean, you can be a backend developer at beginner level and also a founder. I don't know if you get that. You can, as a beginner or intermediate developer, you can be a founder uh, that you have a product you are building or working on. You understand? So there is no, it's not a step-by-step approach that once you get past this level, you have to get. But technically, you can say that beginner, develop, backend engineer, there's intermediate, and maybe somebody at senior level. But your, like I said, your technical ability is not just what is necessary. You need to be a team player, somebody that is able to see solution problem and provide solution to them. You need to employ your creative thinking. You're not somebody that they ask to do A and you are only able to do that A. Even if it's A, you will do it excellently. So there's no clear cut roadmap for that. But let's say you want to become, you have an interesting idea. Even at the beginner, like I said, I have my idea before learning tech. I'm the founder from day one. Maybe somebody else may not be like that, but at least over time, when you have years of experience, it may be a problem you a lot of people have that you may want to solve. So you may be able to contribute as well. So, and for me as well, being a founder for a number of solutions doesn't mean that I'm not doing any other kind of engagement. You understand? So it doesn't mean that because you're a founder somewhere, you will not take up the different roles somewhere else. You understand? So that's just how it is.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for the answer. I got that. So I will go straight to my second question before I will allow others to ask you a question. Okay, as a senior developer, so okay, let me just say, like, is it compulsory for someone to have a certification, maybe as a computer scientist or like having that kind of certification in a university, or can your portfolio and past experiences substitute for certification?
Thank you
Maybe
very
when
much.
you are looking for employment or stuff like that. Yeah.
You will have asked maybe it's just a joke. Maybe you want to say somebody like me. How do I get into tech? Because I have a background in environmental biology. So I studied environmental biology. I never studied computer science at school, and it's not because he was a bad student is why I came to tech, but it's because I think I will be able to contribute better in this area. The thing is that in software industry or ecosystem, uh, it becomes fewer over time. A lot of organizations that were much concerned about your degree before are no more concerned about degree as it used to be, to say you must have a computer science background to become to work with such organization. They want to see proof of experience, proof of contribution. They want to see what you are able to do. So today is, even if you have a computer science degree, you may not be able to get into some of those organizations if you don't have uh, the requisite technical expertise that is needed there. So because no one will take you without proper assessment. So even if you have a first class in any in computer science, somebody that study biology just like me may have an advantage over you because he has the proof of to show something to show. But beyond that as well, that's academics and the software uh, things, some software engineering programming that you learn outside school. In some fields as well, the certification is very important, right? You have the cybersecurity, yes, and you need to do those certification to show a proof of. It's part of showing a proof uh, of expertise. But with PHP backend, there is no such. Though you can have certification, but it's not a required. Uh, it's not required as criteria to get you a job or a career as a backend engineer in most cases. So, and even I think was it earlier this year or last year where Elon Musk announced that you don't want to know your degree, you don't want to know what to study. Show us what you can do. So it's interesting at that level when the richest man in the world when
Hello.
saying that. So
Yes, sir.
can you hear me?
But me host to session. My on a call to call about this thing. Hello, sir. Please, I can hear you, sir. A minute.
All right. So that's just it. So certification is important, is good, but it's not is the need is becoming uh, slim to say not organization that used to need you to become to have a computer science degree now doing away with that to see how well you are able to show what you are able to do, what you are able to contribute. So that's just it for them.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Please, is there any question from the audience to Mr. Adeyinka? Is there any question?
Okay, if there is no question, am I permitted to ask questions as well?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can go ahead.
Sulaiman, is there anything interesting you've learned in this session? You can unmute yourself, click on the microphone icon. Okay. Chidie Bube, Chidie Bube, do you have any interesting thing you've learned in this session as part of the feedback to
Yeah, good afternoon, and thank you for sparing your time to educate us on the importance of AI. I think one of the, uh, let me just say in summary, what I took home from um, this whole lesson is the fact that AI is literally here to assist. You get AI is here to assist because most of the blocker that people think, or most of the challenges that people always think about AI, is the fact that it is here to replace. But then with this topic or lessons that was treated, I think you had to make it so plain for us to understand, in the sense that AI is there to assist when it comes to generating code, when it comes to documentation and the rest. So I think that's the take home lesson I took from this. Thank you.
find?
All
Okay.
right, sir. All right, sir. Do you have any other questions, sir?
No, 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 I'm done. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for coming through. We really appreciate your time, and I learned a lot personally, and from Chidiebube also. I think this time was valuable to us. Thank you very much, sir. And then thanks for coming around.
You're welcome. Thank you,
Yeah.
man. Bye.
Okay. Okay. This brings us to the end of this session. Thanks everyone for joining. You can now drop off now and attend to our talk.